It may sound crazy, but I honestly believe that starting a YouTube channel has helped me become a better dad, husband, friend, colleague, and employee. Now, in the 5 years that I've been running a YouTube channel, I've experienced many highs and quite a few lows. And in this video, I'm going to share some of the most important things that I've learned that have changed me as a person, because I think they could also help you either start a channel of your own or persevere with one that you may be struggling with. Now, scarily, my YouTube journey started almost 5 years ago with this video. Now, that video is quite significant as to something I've recently started, and perhaps one of the biggest lessons in this video, and I'm going to explain more on that shortly. But first, let's look at some of the biggest reasons of how YouTube has changed my life. High up on the list of things that I hate to do is talking about myself alongside social events with strangers. But bear with me, because whilst this isn't something that I like to do, I honestly feel that some open, honest dialogue between me and you now is going to help at least one person out there start their own channel, and I hope that that is you. So my preconception of a YouTuber is a 21-year-old extrovert who likes to play games, have fun, be wacky and loud, fearing nothing about the world around them and other people's opinions of them. If you remember the show Jackass, that's how I used to imagine every YouTuber, just living in the moment, natural entertainers having fun. However, that's the absolute opposite of me. I'm quiet, introverted, don't like any attention at all, and in fact, I'm not a naturally fun or social person. I'm very much the typical reserved Brit. I spend my time juggling a day job and my family commitments. I accept who I am, and many of these traits are unlikely to change. Now, when I started, I figured of all of the social platforms, YouTube was the best one and the one that I would develop myself the most. It was probably the scariest, the biggest unknown, and it gave me the most fear. So I joined groups, I consumed billions of hours of content, and eventually I launched my channel. What I discovered on the way was surprising. It turns out my assumptions of YouTubers was wrong, completely wrong. You see, most of the time you're creating video content, you're scripting, designing, editing, talking to a camera on your own. It's a very introverted experience, alone with your thoughts and trying to craft content. I think the only parts that take a little bit more courage are recording in public, if you want to, and it fits your style, or the networking aspect. But let's face it, most of that's online and virtual. It's the introvert's dream social party where you can leave by just closing the lid of your laptop. Now, most people pick up their phone and watch YouTube because they want to learn how to do something. They want to find out more about a hobby, an interest, and yes, they want entertaining at times, but being introverted doesn't mean that you're not funny or appealing in some way. Now, I got over 1 million views on this one video, and I'm convinced it's largely because I muttered the phrase, "kick fear in the balls," as there were tons of comments just on that one statement alone, and I think people just hit that like button just because of that and at the right point. My point is, we're all different. We all appeal to different people. Some will resonate, some won't. We don't have to be universally liked. Now, there are great extrovert creators, great introvert creators. YouTube can work for anyone, so embrace that, embrace you. Bear in mind, there is one person who we do need to get on our side, one person that can make or break the channel if we don't make them love us, and that's ourselves. Which brings me on to my second point. Now, philosophy and Dalai Lama quotes are not my speciality, but when it comes to YouTube, I think this may give us clues as to why most people quit. Let me explain why. Now, many new YouTubers start with either too high an expectation, they want to be just like Mr. Beast and nothing else, or the opposite, and they've got no real purpose and goal. And I think that this is crucial. The fact is, growing a YouTube channel isn't easy. The first year of learning all the new skills isn't easy. The learning curve is steep, especially if you're older like me and haven't been brought up with a smartphone attached to the end of your arm 23 hours a day. The sad reality is that when things aren't easy, we quit. So here's what I've learned that will stop you quitting, and it comes down to goals and wins. So I want you to set personal goals, short-term ones, and write them down. Not goals like you want to reach 100,000 subscribers by September. No, instead it should be goals around learning the skills that you need. For example, this week I will learn how to use Canva and to create my YouTube thumbnails. This week I will learn how to add text to my videos. This week I'll be creating a copywriting system using ChatGPT, and so on. I want you to look at what other people do, identify what you admire from other creators and hone in on that specific skill. This allows you to focus on quickly improving your abilities, and long term, this compounds into better videos for your viewer. You also don't get overfazed with a bigger picture and all of the things that you need to learn. By writing them down, you can look back and appreciate what you have done. It will give you momentum and a sense of achievement. Now, as I was drafting this video, I realised I had my channel for almost 5 years, and I felt pride and disappointment at the same moment, a contradiction of emotion, and I'll explain why. So, if I'm honest, I'd like to have achieved more in 5 years, but actually there's two ways to look at this. I could also be grateful for the success, the fact that I've only took 5 years to reach over 12,000 subscribers, a number that many people won't ever reach. YouTube is a journey, and I know that is a massive cliche, but it is. So learn to celebrate your wins. That first 100 subscribers, go celebrate it in whatever way you enjoy. Treat yourself as a reward for that hard work, and make sure that you continue to celebrate landmarks, milestones. My family bought me this plaque when I reached 1,000 subscribers, and do you know how proud that made me feel? It wasn't just the milestone itself, but the fact that my family celebrated it with me. But remember, whilst it's nice to get those subscriber numbers and then milestones, bear in mind they are largely vanity metrics. They're a gauge that we're doing the right thing and we can measure, but don't get too hung up on them, because shortly I'm going to tell you about a friend of mine who creates a 7-figure income from his channel, and he hasn't even got 10,000 subscribers. The message here is to find ways to enjoy creating content. Now, I do that by recording my goals and achievements, but often that achievement can be something simple like positive feedback and a comment where someone says, "Thank you, John, because you just solved my problem and made my day." Now, I think the financial consideration is an area that many new YouTubers get completely wrong, but it's often their main driver to even starting a channel. I mean, I started mine as I needed a side hustle to earn more money, help pay for experiences and for my young family. Little did I know over the years that I'd become addicted to YouTube because of other rewards like helping people, learning new skills, creating a personal brand. Nope, at the time, it was all about how to make money. First up, the key to earning more money is to help people. Don't focus on you, focus on them, the viewer. Remember that point, as it's going to save you a ton of pain. Now, if your channel is about solving problems for a subset of people, then the money will come. You'll just need to think bigger than YouTube. Now, I'm not going to go into it too much detail here, as it's probably a video in itself, but let's face it, monetizing a channel, then running AdSense is going to take a while to qualify. You need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours of content. So I would go into this understanding that money will take time, mentally defer it for your own sanity. But that doesn't mean quit on it. Let me explain why. You see, AdSense is only one way to earn money. There are plenty of others. Over the years, I've made enough to invest in training, travels, equipment, a nice studio office, and barely any of that was from AdSense. Most of it was affiliate earnings. So this video explains in more detail, but it's where you recommend the products that you use and like, and if someone uses your special link and buys it, then you make a commission. So this has been my biggest earner to date, but also I've got a course that I created on Skillshare, which is an education platform online. Now that course has earned me over $3,000 without much effort, if I'm brutally honest. It's an animation course, and do you know what I knew about animation before starting YouTube? Nothing. Zilch. It's that viral video I mentioned before. I used an animation program to create part of it. I'd seen a video on YouTube by a guy called Paddy Galloway, I think it was, and I wanted to be able to create the animations that he did in order to explain concepts. So I researched what he was using and then spent a few weeks learning that software, if you remember those short-term goals. And after several months of creating these videos, I realised I could probably easily teach other people what I've learned myself. So I created a little course, threw it on Skillshare, and just linked to it through my videos. Now, this was perhaps one of my biggest mistakes too. Stupidly, I knew that that process worked. I was making money, but I didn't repeat it. So when it comes to selling your own products, imposter syndrome is brutal, and it took me until recently to appreciate this. Now, do you remember earlier when I mentioned that first video I created, and it's by a friend of mine called Jacob. Now, that first video was about the first digital product that Jacob had launched and created himself. I paid about $20 for that product, and I wanted to share my thoughts with people on YouTube. Now, amazingly, in the 5 years since he made that product, Jacob has grown exponentially. And I don't mean that he's put on 20 stone and he's this big. I mean in terms of business growth. He now sells products that people will pay 20 to 50 grand each year for. The most mind-blowing part is that he's done this and he can attribute over 7 figures to his YouTube channel that's got less than 10,000 subscribers. So what's my point? Well, have different ways to make money, recommending products or creating your own. Once you start getting viewers, figure out a problem that they've got and find a solution that solves that problem. Create it yourself and sell it direct or through a ready-made platform like Skillshare or Udemy. This gives you a focal point that helps you solve people's problems, earn income, grow your reputation, and also it teaches you sales and marketing skills that many of the massive channels just don't ever realise. Oh, and watch this space because I'm working on something myself that's going to be coming out soon, and I think you might just like it. So this video is about how YouTube changed my life. Well, what if I told you that in my professional career, I increased my salary, I developed new skills, gained 2 promotions, and I put that down to starting a YouTube channel? Let me explain. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm fairly shy, quiet, and unassuming. I don't exactly overflow with self-confidence. I never have. However, that has changed with YouTube. For the first time in my life, I've got a belief in myself and my abilities. And do you know why? Because YouTube is fulfilling, it's rewarding in so many ways. If you're willing to put the effort in, take the hard path at times, create content that helps people, then over time, you're going to get results. You'll collect likes, positive and wholesome comments, subscribers, income, new skills, reputation and recognition, and so on. All of these things boost your confidence and give you that kind of ultimate validation that you need. Now, for me, that then spills into my day job and my family life. It can give you that I can do anything attitude, if you like. Ready to take on any challenge, knowing that with enough discipline and effort, you can achieve great things. Now, I honestly believe that this newfound self-confidence came at a time where opportunities showed in my day job. And I had that belief and attitude to embrace them. Instead of running and hiding and saying, I can't. Well, of course I can. I started a YouTube channel and I grew it, so I can do anything. So ask yourself, what would that look like for you? Maybe you've already got enough belief and confidence, but if not, what would a supercharged version of you be capable of? Now, I don't know what you do for your day job or studies, let me know in the comments, but me, I work in IT. I've got 20+ years technical support experience, basically switching things off and switching them on again. It's a very logical job, things work or they don't, and I can usually just apply logic to figure things out and fix what's broken. Well, here's the thing. Since starting a YouTube channel, it's like I've awoken half of my brain from a deep slumber. It's as though I now have a use for creativity, imagination, and self-expression. By creating YouTube thumbnails, social media posts, learning how to copyright, edit videos, and so much more, it's like my bedraggled old brain has got a new lease of life. I basically feel more complete and well-rounded. Now, I appreciate this may not apply to everyone. If you're an artist, then maybe you already have enough creativity. But I would still argue that creative people would then get to use other skills that YouTubers rely on, like being analytical, process-driven, and so on. The fact is, in those 5 years as a YouTuber, I've grown as a person. I've become a better creator. I've turned YouTube into a hobby and at times an obsession, and not just driven by financial reward. And at the same time, I honestly believe it's helped me become a better dad, husband, colleague, employee. Without question, I would recommend that you start a channel of your own today. So what's stopping you? Seriously, let me know. What is stopping you? Now, if you've enjoyed this video, and I really hope it's helped you in some way, check out the description. I've got a link to a newsletter that I've started where I help busy 9-to-5ers build a YouTube channel in just a few hours a week. So jump onto that and make sure you stay tuned to the next video.